Absolutely, you've seen a glimpse of the future. You've seen a lot of talented youngsters sprinkled with some experience who have produced a performance showing what they're capable of.
When you look at that second leg and Wednesday night at Real Madrid, does this give City fans hope?
Absolutely, you have to go. It's not all over. It's going to be a mighty task for them, but this is nothing more than a really big moral confidence booster.
Obviously there was a lot of absentees today as well. When you look at sort of phases in teams when they evolve and so on, there's always a period where you start to see the next generation and the new blood. The fact that all of them have contributed, how significant is that?
I think it's really significant in the balance of the team. It looked really well shaped. They all knew their roles, their jobs, and they were able to produce good performances.
Well, they're the thoughts of Clive Allen. The last time he was with me on commentary duty, City beat Nottingham Forest by 3-0. We should be inviting him back on a regular basis, it seems to me. Let's go back to the studio where we can get the thoughts of Sam Allardyce, Andy Morrison, and of course Cal.
Welcome back to the Matchday live studio with me, Kel Spellman, alongside Sam Allardyce and Andy Morrison. Full time here at the Etihad Stadium. Manchester City 4, Newcastle United 0. Sam, I don't think that was a result any of us were expecting. What's your assessment on the game?
Well, I think one, we didn't expect that result. Two, we didn't expect City's tactics to be quite as different as they were, particularly the use of the ball in behind Newcastle's defence. And I think that some of the balls that played in there was a key element, and Marmoush's runs off the ball with Haaland ended up with a very satisfying result, 4-0. Second half played out a little bit, but another goal off a set piece this time, flicked on by Haaland, really tucked away brilliantly. And I think that overall it's a very satisfying afternoon for Manchester City, and particularly Pep.
Included, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Pep absolutely buzzing. Even off that, I mean, the game petered out a little bit in the second half. We got the 3 goals, the hat-trick from Marmoush, which we'll focus on in a second. But we struggled to manage and control games this season, and we were impressed that we were able to do that in that second half and just see it out with composure.
Yeah, we did. I mean, they were always going to come back into it. Newcastle, slight tactical change in a couple of areas, a couple of substitutions, and they had to get a reaction. So it wasn't going to be as fluent and the rhythm that we had in the first half. But they managed it really well, and there was a few things that really impressed me. 65, 66 minutes, there was a turnover in possession, and Marmoush has sprinted 40 yards just to cut off a forward pass, which forced play back and just stopped the counter-attack and the desire to get back behind the ball and work hard. And then right at the end, I think there's a situation where Longstaff's gone up against Rico Lewis in the last minute, pushed him to the ground, and Nico's turned, and his reaction towards Longstaff tells me he's in the game, he's in the moment, he's present. And I'm not talking about advocating anything, sort of any skullduggery or anything, but it's just being a presence on the pitch to sort of say, I'm pushing my player around, my teammate, and it just creates an energy. And that was really evident for me today, a real togetherness and a legs, physicality on the pitch, and brilliant finishes from Marmoush.
Yeah, let's talk about him. Man of the match, took the ball home as well, which you'll have seen come full time. One of our new signings from January. We saw a few today. What did you make of Marmoush today, Sam?
Well, I mean, that's just. I don't think I've ever seen anybody come in the January window and have such an impact in one game with his movement, his finishing to score an hat-trick. And believe you me, I've had a lot of players come in this time of year who have simply struggled badly to adjust to the qualities of the Premier League, the physicality of the Premier League, the demand of the Premier League, and it's taken them till the season after before they've shown it. So to do it so quickly and to show such great talent and willingness to make the right sort of runs off his partner, looking at Haaland, the Haaland comes short, he go long, so on and so forth. So an instant connection there that you used to see with De Bruyne, and fabulous hat-trick. And brilliant for the lad himself.
Yeah, super exciting. I actually wanted to kind of focus on all the signings that started today. Next, going to Kusanov, position you know well, Andy. Yeah. What did you make of his full?
Really impressed today. Never got exposed, and there was a turn of pace that me and Sam saw in the first half in a recovery run. Yeah. And it was a 35-40 metre sprint, and we were like both looking at each other to say, wow. It was Walker-esque in his recovery, and also the power and the pace to get there. So really impressed with him. Fantastic reaction, obviously, from the mishap in the first game, which can knock your confidence, But back in today against a big team and a striker in Isak who's bang on form, probably one of the form strikers in world football.
Yes.
So he knows he's coming into a big challenge, and he dealt with it quite comfortably. Made great decisions, never got exposed, kept things simple. Really pleased for him today.
Yeah, fantastic showing there from Kusanov. And then finally, and I thought was instrumental, Sam. We know how much you've maybe missed Rodri, but Nico comes into
Rodri
the side.
Too,
You said it, not me, Sam.
I just said it, man. I just said it. I thought he just. Andy was talking about him. He just slipped into that position and just controlled the midfield, didn't he? And nobody will look at him outside of the likes of perhaps us and see how big an influence we had on the game, because obviously the stars were in Savino and Marmoush, you know what I mean? So, but his contribution, his link-up play, his keeping the team together, keeping the ball moving, reading the situation, intercepting balls was just, he made everything look so simple, which is not as easy task in the Premier League.
And I guess as well, Andy, then what it enabled to do is Gundogan's been so present this season, especially when we've needed players to step up, and Gundogan's been there. But it almost alleviated the pressure off him, and then we got to see the best side of Gundogan's game, which was knitting it together, which you pointed out.
Great point, Cal.
Very good.
Because there was just the responsibility of being the first line of defence. On the turnover possession, so I don't think you're quite as, exposing yourself further at the pitch. You're not showing so much because you know that you're expected to be the first point to change direction of play. But the freedom then to go and just be himself today, and he just looked the rhythm and the way he moved the ball and everything. He didn't give the ball away, and there was just a fluency to the play. We've been a little bit stop-start in game, and we've given the ball away, or people aren't really connecting together. But I just think knowing that somebody there, if I do make a mistake, the next person they're going to look at is the 6, who will then force play wide rather than looking at a ball down the side of a centre half. And that's what's really how we've looked exposed for a while now without Rodri, and trying to find ways to solve that, so that we're not, the first pass and then down the side of a centre half, people running in behind, mistakes, then penalties or whatever. But it was just great to see somebody there. And also his influence on the game, with his vociferous direction, pulling people about, in the referee's ear, in the opposition's ear. Like, I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here to slip in. I'm here to, for you to know that I've arrived. And I felt that today about him.
Yeah,
really impressed.
Almost reminiscent of an Andy Morrison coming in at Blackpool there, Sam.
Well, I think Sandy'd like to think he was that good. I'm not so sure he was. Sorry, Andy.
The other player I wanted to highlight, I think was key to City's game today, Ederson, and now becomes the all-time goalkeeper, assist maker with 6.
The best long passer Man City have got, you mean?
Yeah. That.
He's passing. He had one in the second half. He didn't come to much, but he hit a wide left. He hit a 75-yard ball straight onto his footlight. Just had to bring it down and get on with it. Right. And he does it effortlessly.
Yeah.
It's like, and it just goes where it needs to go, and that was a really great tactic today. Completely the opposite. I've never seen Man City play as many long balls as they saw, as we've seen today, and particularly from Ederson, the goalkeeper. So, and it worked wonderfully well, which is obviously looking at Newcastle and what he thought they were going to do, and Newcastle did that by pressing high, and he counter-attacked that by playing in behind them as quickly as
when the space was there. And I think it'd be remiss of us not to mention Savino.
Yes,
because
Savino,
Sam was. I don't know if you've seen how much you've seen of him, but you actually, what age is he? Is it 20?
Yeah.
Do you know? And some of the things he did, the checks he makes and all that. I think Hall's cartilages are going to be sore tonight.
There's another Mahrez, isn't he? But younger,
Yes, yeah.
And the way he looks, the way he plays, the way he jinks in and out. You don't know whether he's going to go left or right or, you know.
Yeah. So many good
Terrific.
performances.
Yeah, it really was all round. Just wanted to pick on something you said there, Sam, as well. For Pep, obviously, it's such a brilliant performance. I think a performance he's been waiting to see from this City team for a while this season. What will that do now for the back half of the season, but also with, obviously, the game looming against Madrid?
Well, he can probably relax and enjoy that glass of wine tonight for a change. He hasn't had as many as he would like, would he? Like, I mean, but I think he's obviously very satisfied with what's happened today, and he can relax a little bit tonight. And tomorrow morning it'll be straight on what team are going to play.
Sam, what does that do, that game, to the 6 main names that are on the subs bench? Your De Bruyne, your Silva.
We might not play on Wednesday.
Yeah, but what does it do to them? What it weights them up.
Lift a game. They have to lift a game. You know, yeah. I mean, you know, the one thing about Manchester City is there's no room for you to lower your standards. Mm-hmm. For 2 reasons: the demand from Pep more than anything else.
Yeah,
and such a big club that looks after its players, looks after everybody so well, means that, you know, if you want to stay here, you have to deliver consistently week in and week out.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's look then to the next game then. Real Madrid, obviously, we're lucky maybe not to be going with a goal advantage. Madrid, they're going 3-2 on aggregate. Does it feel almost a bit like, not a free hit, but you know what needs to be done? Does that force City's hand a little bit?
You know what needs to be done, but I think and I think people are getting a bit ahead of themselves. I think, if we go 1-0 up in the 75th minute, that's enough. We're in the game. You know, the away goal, how that's changed. And then, just stay in the game. Stay in the game as long as we can. And then we've got enough firepower now across the board to create some magic. If we need to go and be a bit gung-ho in the first, but don't lose it early on. We can't afford to go down early on against them, because if they then sit in a deep block against us at 1-0 with a 2-goal advantage, they'll just pick us off on account. Stay in it. Then the pressure will mount on them. And you've seen the firepower, what we've got to come off the bench with Doku come on.
Yeah.
10-minute cameo there, Sharp, Marmoush, Savinho's at the top of the game, Haaland. We will create chances.
Go and win it.
Yeah.
You know why? Need to win the Champions League this year.
Yeah.
They need to win the Champions League. Listen, the league has always been the most important. That looks a long way off.
Yes,
now.
yeah.
Win the Champions League, then all of this disappointment is forgotten.
Yeah.
You know, all this to ask to be kept at the level that they've had to be kept at, doing 4 years on the trot, winning 4 on the trot, nobody else has done it. Did you win a treble in between that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And the fact that it's happened and never happened before, for it to carry on, is almost virtually impossible. And it looked like it was going to do the start of the season.
Yeah.
Injuries and load and whatever you. Has just turned the corner from the league point of view the other way. That looks like you can't recover from that. But why not go and win the Champions League? Yeah. They've had some poor results in the Champions League, but now they've got one game to prove who they really are.
Yeah.
And that's go and beat Real Madrid at Real Madrid, which they're more than capable of doing. Yeah. So Pep's this is the trophy we want. This is this is where we need to be. This is what we can rescue our season by saying, let's get to the Champions League final and win it.
Yeah, let's go. I'd love Sam, can you get back down in that changing room there, Sam? It was quite interesting as well, though, Andy, just to point out, Real Madrid are still currently playing 1-1. Bellingham was sent off in the 39th minute, so they've had to play. They're playing around 60, 70 minutes with 10 men. Might not mean anything, but we'll take any help we can get. And I guess, actually, we just want to keep in the tie for as long as possible.
Stay in it as long as we can. We know we've got enough to score goals. I'm not sure. I read somewhere that a couple of defenders may be back, but that back 4, I didn't think we asked enough questions of them. I thought, every time we got into, we got a penalty, we got shots off. Every time we asked the question of them, but there was that nervousness around sort of 1-1. Let's not lose it, and we didn't really go and have a go at them. Now we need to have a go at them, and I think we can ask massive questions of them from what I saw.
I completely agree. Well, we'll be bringing you all the build up to that on Matchday Live. As you know, make sure you join us on Wednesday night. Just bring you quickly the league table. This is how it stands then in the Premier League. So Liverpool, of course, still top now with a game in hand, 57 points. Arsenal winning 2-0 earlier today. I mean, Sam, what an incredible season Nottingham Forest are having, sitting in 3rd there now.
Absolutely. Fantastic season.
Did drop a few...
As well, Bournemouth as well, I mean, look at that, unexpected the start of this season, but doing absolutely fantastic, those two. That's what the Premier League's so good.
Yeah.
That's why it's the best league in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there we are, City now in that top 4th position. Now we've all played 25 games. Fantastic stuff. Well, what an absolute pleasure. 4-0 here at the Etihad Stadium against Newcastle, and I've absolutely loved the show. Andy, thank you so much, Sam.
Thanks, Cal.
Absolute pleasure.
To be here.
And thank you to all of you for watching. So as I say, come join us on Wednesday night. But for now, enjoy that result and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I tell you what, Marmoush beat Aguero and Haaland to a hat-trick. It took them 4 games. It only took him 3. Good night.
That is the difference, because anyone can have natural talent, but you've got to want to be able to go that one step further.
Obviously, I'd sort of fallen over, and the player was also in front of me. And then I got up and I was like, oh my goodness, it's gone in.
Naylor works an angle, hits the shot, deflects into the net!
Still time here, dangerous ball! Divine Mukasa! What a goal from Divine Mukasa! Well, with a bit of trickery, that's not a bad ball in! And Manchester City do pull a goal back, Niedermayer in the middle!
Haaland can chip him! Haaland can chip him! Haaland has chipped him!
Bernardo Silva tries to find some space for a shot, and he finds the net.